and the true story is about me. And it goes back to this. So we're going to look at our product strategy. And I want you to go back that we all think that our product strategy is going to look like this. And it's a wee bit like technical debt, that because of things such as people leaving, people joining, budget changes, technology changes, competition changes, the reality is my product often looks like this, goes all over the place. And what we were told at the very beginning when I was at HSBC is that we came up with this idea that was going to be that we were going to take our high net worth clients and give them opportunity to invest in what is known as these like gods. There's the gods of fund management. And you and I, you probably don't know that they exist. You probably don't know they exist. But these individuals are like, they work for boutique corporations and their returns are stellar. I mean, they'll give you 10, 15% year on year. But to join them, you've got to have at least like $2, $3, $4 million to get into one of those funds. And you and I don't have that kind of money just lying around. We all got, but the kind of returns that these people give are stellar. And our idea was fairly simple, everyone. The idea was that we were going to take the people who had got the 2-3 million and would glump them up. And because sometimes these really stellar ones require 20 million. So our idea was that we'd get 10 people of our millionaires, 10 who've got $2 million each, and we'll go on to this stellar stratosphere kind of super duper returns. And then our idea was to leverage them. So now we're really talking about something very particular for high net worth clients. And it was to maximize the performance of their investments, to unlock new, unique fund managers, to allow them incredible asset leverage. The Flex Invest team will allow an online leveraged investment fund vehicle based in UK, Australia, and Hong Kong, and to be delivered within 9 months. So once again, what's a leverage? A leverage is if you go and buy a house and you put, say, a 25% deposit on a house. And so say the house is worth $1 million, you put 250,000 down, your leverage is 4. That's a 4 times leverage you've just got in order to get your house. They call it a mortgage. So we're talking times 10. So if you give us 2 million, we're going to give you 20 million access. So it's a big thing. We're going for pretty out there kind of assets, fund managers, but we believe we can do it. So we're following the path of the maturity phases, one through to the other, the idea, the discovery, the inception, the execute. And the idea is to allow net worth individuals to spend $2 million in a fund, that fund to invest in leverage of up to 10 times investment across the world. So our personas are high net worth, asset rich, 55 to 80, located in the UK and Hong Kong. 5 months later, in mid 2008, this happens. Catastrophe. The global financial crisis hits, and it is just absolutely pandemonium. We've got people in the UK, companies are reacting, they don't know what to do, and as the weeks turn into months, people start getting fired. People are getting sacked. They're stopping projects. People are being thrown into the street. Someone wrote, there is blood in the streets. We've now got a situation that we have up to in the order of nearly 100,000 people being made redundant across the UK in some form or other. HSBC alone, we dropped 15,000 people across the world. So we are really struggling, and the attitudes towards risk are really anti. No one wants to know risk. Everyone wants to go and say, "Hey, we want to build a risky project times 10 is crazy. Get rid of them." And by this point, my team that I've got is around about 50 people. And we've spent a lot of time building the right people, and I'm loving these people, and now we're being told let's get rid of them. And the cognitive biases within the organization are these: what happened yesterday could happen here, therefore batten down the hatches. Cognitive bias is that if you're bleeding money, stop the wherever the cut, wherever the wound is, stop, because we don't know what's going on. A cognitive bias is that if there's a lot of noise around you, stay still, read the noise of what's happening, and jettison anything that you don't need. And that's exactly what they were doing. So the cognitive biases of old, of previous disasters, is get rid of the people and cut any kind of fat at all. So in other words, we're all about to get made redundant. We're all about to be thrown in the street. And I don't want to get thrown in the street because there's already 100,000 of other people who are lying in the street that are already sort of looking for jobs. And I've got 50 people that are extremely worried. So I went back to my stakeholders and I said, stakeholders, look, the whole point of doing Agile, we've been wanting to do Agile for a very, very long time. And as a product owner for this project, I think there may be just a different product. That instead of actually moving from a high risk project, maybe we evolve, maybe we look at something else, maybe we pivot and actually absorb and look around us to see what we are doing. Now, the words were great, but it's a hard thing to do. I wanted to evolve the product, and I said, why don't we evolve our product to the new world? And perhaps the new world is going to be asking us for a more of a low risk product. Let's do that. And they thought about it, and all the while they were thinking about it, I am absolutely nervous. I look something like this wee girl coming down the slide, because I have pitched something and I don't know if it's going to stick, but it's going to be the last pitch we've got until we get thrown out into the street. So taking ownership like a consumer, I set quantifiable goals. I said, look, why don't we come back to this and keep looking at what we are doing every step of the way? Harmonize the strategy so that I said, look, we can work with other teams to make sure that we work with other teams in terms of the fund management and their equities and their cash, so that we're working together and we will evolve with the change that we see. So I set about and we did all the things I've taught you in the product owner course. So here's my lean canvas that we started filling out and started getting ideas of what the new product could look like. And I'm getting nods. I'm getting nods from my stakeholders going, okay, we're not sure, but we'll go with it. We'll let you have enough rope to hang yourself with. And I was actually blessed because I had other product owners and projects that had been cancelled. So there was a bit of cash swimming around. But then it was like, do we hold on to it, or do we sort of have a little gamble on these guys doing Agile and this guy product owners? I learned something before, and there's a great story of let people know where you are. And we've all experienced where we've got a job, or we're looking for something, or we're making a bid for something, and the other party suddenly goes silent. You get scared. Something's happened. And I sort of knew that. And I knew that people wanted to know where they were. And there's an old story, and again, I fact-checked this. It's a great story, and let me give it to you. And the story is this. People want to know where they are. But the other thing is that any plan will do. There's a story about the Swiss SAS, the Swiss Army. And they're like the best elite troops, like the Navy SEALs. They're Swiss, and they're doing NATO maneuvers, and where they're doing it is in Peru. True story, what I'm telling you. And what they did is that they flew in the Swiss Army. Everyone was doing their own maneuvers. These were the Swiss maneuvers, and they flew them into the Peruvian Alps. And they dropped these soldiers, about 30 of them, on top of the hill. They came down the helicopter on top of the hill into the snow area. and their job was to get out of the valley. And so they came down, and suddenly the clouds came in, a storm came in, and snow started coming in, and the snow got thicker, and it started turned into a blizzard. And the soldiers started walking down the hill, and they got lost. And then they went back up the hill, which is what you're trained to do. Refind your path, come back down the hill. And they did this. And now they're tired, now they're lost, now the blizzard's around them, and some of them genuinely thought they were about to die, because they had no radio communication whatsoever. And in the darkness, one of the soldiers did this. They got a map out. And the soldiers went, "Oh, a map!" and got a torch, and they looked at it, and they found their bearings, and they got off the hill. They got off the mountain. And most of you are going to do this. Nyeh. Nyeh. Got a map, Until I tell you this. The map was of the Swiss Alps, not the Peruvian Alps. But what the map did is it gave the soldiers heart. They thought it was the Peruvian. They said, okay, we've got a map. Now we've got heart. They've got warmth. They had engendered. They had energy again, and they got off the hill. Any plan will do. So I knew I had to have a plan. I knew I had to say, hey, this is where we are and this is where we're going to go. And so what I did is I went back and I said, team, this is what we are going to do. We're going to have a product plan. I'm going to keep in touch with you. I'm going to tell you how we're doing. I'm going to make sure that you know where we are at any time. And I know that things are scary out there, but we will tell you what's going on and what we're planning to do. I held a big room planning session. I called it the World Cafe, and everybody came in of the teams, and everyone had a little section. And we said, how are we going to build this low risk new product that we're going to have for the future? What can we do? What can we take what's in front of us and actually build something? And so we inspected, we adapted, and we changed many times. And we started saying, it is this, it isn't that, it does this, it doesn't do this. And we brought our product owners in. We brought other architects in. We brought our stakeholders in to make sure that they were aware of what we're doing and what we're planning. In America, they've got this thing called an information radiator. And an information radiator is a large display of critical team information that is continuously updated and located in a spot where the team can see it constantly. That was by Alistair Cockburn. And you need to have an information radiator, and it's even more so today than when people are working from home. They're a little bit scared, a little bit disconnected. They don't know what's going on. So you need to be that hub of the wheel. You need to be telling people what is going on. Let me see it here. You can see what we're doing. You can see the unplanned items coming in. This is the to-do. This is in progress. This is the done. You can see are we going to land the plane? And what I did is that we had 5 for every team. I asked them, so there's mine, there's another, and there's another 2 around the corner of the 5 teams. And you can see our screens as we're trying to deliver this thing. Be open. Let people know. It's almost like it's like when you go to a fairground or a zoo, and it says you are here, and you can almost see people around who are going, okay, I know where we are now. I know where we are. I'm a huge believer. Don't go silent on them, even though when you don't know the answers. Tell people where you are. There's a bit of stew. And so here we go. This is the done. And for those of you can see all the different parties that we had to do with Flex Invest. There's the product control. There's the admin in Bermuda that we had to liaise with. There is security, the global publishing team, the market risk team, the compliance, the performance, oh my word. Down here under the delivered is a high Gantt chart. This is when we're going to plan to release this. I love Gantt charts. I hate Gantt charts that are too detailed, but I love big Gantt charts because my stakeholders I know love them. And this is some of the key risks and issues that we are carrying with us. So we also had tried to get sense of purpose. and get people to do the right thing and have a bit of fun. And this is just one of my ones, is that if you were late for a meeting or you didn't come up with the right stuff, or I got a pig made on eBay, and they actually can buy these things. They cost about $15, but I got the name of the project written on the side. And if you were late for something, you stuck something in the pig, like a couple of bucks or something, and at the end of every few weeks or so, that we all went out for a beer, or we had the pig pay for a cake, and just that bit of a laugh and that sense of purpose of working together. So the roadmap started coming out, and we said, "This is what we're doing." And every now and then, I had to run the gauntlet. Oh, let's get rid of them. They're costing us hundreds of thousands, and we were costing like $2,000-3,000 every couple of weeks. We were going through money like you wouldn't believe, because 50 people delivering. But we said yesterday that we had people who'd been with the organization for a while. We had also brand new people, and we had people that capital that we had invested in these people, of getting to know each other, the silver threads, and we had a team that was pumping, going, great guns. And I was showing people, look what we are delivering, and we will deliver the highest value, whatever you decide that's going to be. We then, iPhone the year before, a couple of years, 2007 had come out, and we sort of had a strategy that started begin to form. And we mentioned to you before about evolving. And some of you may or may not know this, but you are more likely to get divorced than you are to change your bank account. Did anyone know that? You're more likely to get divorced than you are to change your bank account. And so banks, as a banking corporation, you love first-time people. And you love any way that you can get to attract people to your bank is given a big highlight pen. Because if they join your bank at the age of 22, 23, the likelihood is they're probably going to stay with you for the rest of their life. So you want these people, and anything that can give you that. And I was given that by somebody else, confirmation bias, the idea that someone said, "Did you know that this is one of the big levers for the bank?" And I went, whoa, okay. And as a product owner, I'm starting to put 1 and 1 might make 5. And I said to the team, I said, why don't we, instead of going boring old school, having it on a monitor and here is my stuff of what we're doing, why don't we go iPhone? And it was like, whoa, what is this? I said, yeah, it might appeal to the younger audience. And I had one of the stakeholders, he said, "Stu, I like that idea." And we worked on it, and we had the team going, and some other people added some other ideas. And then we contacted Apple, and Apple went, because Apple was desperate for people to get stuff on their apps. And one of the things I'm with my life and with my sons and my wife, I'm a huge believer in making your own luck. You make your own luck. And we called Apple, and we said, "Apple, would you be prepared to work with the second largest bank in the world?" And they nearly tripped over themselves rushing towards us. So we had some Apple engineers suddenly. And then we said, well, we've got this product that we think would be for low risk people, that if we were looking for the 20 to 25, 28-year-olds, what can we do? Can we do something a little bit sexy for them? And so we started to evolve again. We said, well, let's move from, we can do a bit of testing. And we found that the people would be interested in that, and they would quite like something. So we evolved, and we moved from being on a screen to being on an iPhone. And people loved it. It started gaining momentum, and then suddenly we started getting stakeholders who were sitting on the fence started coming up with us. We also started seeing the clouds started, the fog started clearing, that people were not as panicky as the world was going to come to an end because of the global financial crisis. People started understanding the risk a bit better. And we had changed our persona. So our project moved to a low, high net worth. So what I've done here, everyone, is I've crossed off the that what the old thing is being scored out, and then I've got next door to it what the new thing is. So to a low, it was high net worth. It's now average individuals. To spend $2 million, we switched it to being $100 into a fund. That fund to invest in a leverage of times 10 is now times 2 investments across the world. High risk, but very high return. And we've moved it to very low risk with medium return. We've also changed our persona. Our persona was going to be high net worth individuals, 55 to 80, and the location was going to be UK and Hong Kong. And it turned out that our new persona was average net worth, some disposable income, 25 to 55, and they're going to be based in Hong Kong. So let me show you the video. So let me just, okay, so I'm going to share my screen. What's going to happen here, everyone, is that I'm going to show you the video. The video is only 30 seconds long. It's the advert that we made. What I want you to do is that it's in Cantonese. And what's going to happen is I would like you to, you're going to see a barrier of Zoom down below. I need you to move the barrier of Zoom, the menu of Zoom at the below to the top. I'll show you. You'll see it in a second. Just move your up to the top so you can read the subtitles. Okay. So you might have here we go. Ready? Here's the video of Flex Invest.
衣櫃季都要入新貨，一個嘴唇配10款唇飾。
黑膠、相機、打機，男人總會中一塊。
我買咁多嘢，係咪代表我大把錢？
我話唔係，你都唔信啦。
認真，其實係因為我識得理財，用 HSBC Flex Invest 靈活字頭，10隻基金易揀易明，買幾多、幾時買、幾時賣，全部由我話事。
今次係人生勝利組，100蚊就可以開始投資基金。
I built that. So now we've got young people giving them the path to investment, and they love it. They love it. And what happens is that we hit the market at the right time, and we end up winning the Global Banking Award for the best new product in the world for products. For new banking. They thought it was alive. They thought it was fresh. It was new. It was ability to cope with volatile environment, minimal loss of momentum, preparedness to capitalize in new environment, saving to the organization of over 10 million, and new income to HSBC of $25 million US in the first 6 months. It went on to get another $200 million. It was just, and how we got that, by the way, is that we had over 100,000 people signing up and joining, wanting to get part of it. It was just amazing. So it weren't all new customers, I must confess. Some of them were existing HSBC customers. What we also did is that we won the most valuable Agile project in the UK in 2010. And there's a very handsome man in the middle there. And we tried to get the Ryder Cup picture of everyone going around. Now, the reason why this is important, these two individuals here are some of the most senior individuals of HSBC, and they couldn't believe what had just happened in their bank. So they were super, super delighted. So from dead last, we actually managed to achieve something amazing. And we learned to evolve, we learned to change, we learned to take risks. I learned as a product owner about my cognitive biases. I also learned about the organizational biases. I learned as a product owner to evolve. I learned that to keep people informed. I learned that sometimes the path is going to be, I had to become, as a product owner, sometimes you've got to be comfortable in the uncomfortable is where you have to be. But yeah, make your own luck.